Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. We got some breaking news here to cover. The Las Vegas Raiders have gone out and signed former Philadelphia Eagles safety Marcus Epps. Coming up on today's show, we are going to tell you how he is going to fit with this new Raiders defense, with Patrick Graham, how he's going to fit with safety Trevon Merrick, and overall, was it a good value? Was it a bad value at 2 years, $12 million with $8 million guaranteed? If this is the first time you've ever come across the Raiders Report, you might not know this. We are an interactive YouTube channel, so I want you to sound off right now down in the comments. I want you to pretend you're texting your buddies. You're on Twitter. You're on Instagram. You're spamming right now. Give me your one-word reaction to the move of the Raiders going out and signing Marcus Epps. To me, the 1 year or 2 year one-word reaction, I'd say is value, because Epps provides value. He's somebody who has started over 20 games in total last season, including the playoffs, 17 regular season games. In 2022, he had a career-high 94 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 5 pass breakups, 0 interceptions. Then you go back and you look at 2021, 16 games played, 62 tackles, 0 tackles for loss, 5 PBUs and a pick. 2020, 14 games, 47 tackles, 4 PBUs, 2 interceptions. Overall, Epps is going to be a very, very interesting player. And you know what? We actually just got an update here from Jeremy Fowler that said the Raiders had interest in Jordan Poyer. However, Vegas decided to go with Marcus Epps, who can start opposite of Trevon Merrick. So Poyer and the Raiders both had interest. That is coming from Jeremy Fowler. And it sounds like Vegas gets Marcus Epps. I don't know if Fowler is reporting that and based off of that it's not going to happen anymore with Poyer. I would imagine that it's not going to happen. But if based off that report alone, I think they went with the cheaper value in Epps. They're basing it off a player who's a little bit younger. Poyer at 31, almost basically going to be 32 years old, or is going to be 32 years old at the start of the regular season. They go with a guy a little bit younger, 27 years old, 6 foot, 200-pound safety, good tackler, can cover. Last season an 84.4 run defense grade. I'm going to continue to break down more grades here around Marcus Epps from PFF, but first, I got to show some love. Hey, he was a Philadelphia Eagle. They're green. Let's go with Athletic Greens here as our sponsor. Huge shout out to them. If you guys haven't already, go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Major shout out to them for sponsoring today's Raiders Report show. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted immune system support and wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. My grandma always said the early bird gets the worm, and AG1 inspires and motivates me to get as many worms as possible every day. AG1 really helps me getting my day started. Getting out of bed, especially after some of our watch parties, can be difficult, and I'm a person who likes and needs a routine. AG1 helps me stick to my healthy routine, wake up early, take my AG1, take Chuck for a walk, then hit the gym before work, covering my nutritional basis for the day. Literally, couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water, drink it first thing each morning. Done. I also like it because it costs less than $3 per day. That's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. It is a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. Link's going to be in the comments and in the description of today's video. So if you're wondering, all right, Mitch, give me some breakdowns in terms of PFF numbers. Last season, Marcus Epps' overall grade of 56.3. I will say you can't always trust PFF numbers. I just talked to a few of my Philadelphia Eagles friends. Our host of Philadelphia Eagles now here at Chat Sports and said, don't look at PFF. Marcus Epps is a good safety. And I am going to trust them way more than I'm going to trust PFF. Though, also on top of that, if you look at his numbers back in 2021, an overall grade of 72.8, a run defense grade of 87.6, coverage grade of 67.9. Back in 2020, a coverage grade of 74.8, and overall defensive grade of 75.1. So PFF got him a little bit fluctuating. 6th-round pick from the Minnesota Vikings back in 2019. Played college football for the Wyoming Cowboys. Essentially, the Raiders needed help on that back end. You move on from Deron Harmon, who was a free agent, and I don't know how much Harmon would have ended up making. He was 32 years old. So essentially, you bring in Epps. He's going to be your new starting strong safety next to Devon Merrick. Could the Raiders potentially add a few more pieces to the secondary? Yes, absolutely. But Epps has played in 1,058 defensive snaps last season. That was the most by any Eagles player. So you have a guy who played in more snaps than any Eagles defensive player, a team that went to the playoffs, a team that had arguably the best defense in all of football. 8 of Philly's 9 players on total defense snaps last season have either left or are current free agents. Guess what? Marcus Epps adds to that list. If you're looking for the latest news or rumors around the Las Vegas Raiders and you want them 100% for free, take a second, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications right now. That way you never miss anything. Before I wrap up today's Marcus Epps episode, I also figured, you know what, we would talk here a little bit about Davante Adams. So Davante Adams posted this on his Instagram story. If we haven't talked in the last 3 weeks, don't hit me about this shit. Thanks. Well, guess what? He then went and he deleted this tweet, and then he ended up tweeting out something a little bit more new, which, okay, Jeremy has it, because there was a lot of speculation. There was like, is Davante upset about the Jimmy Garoppolo news? What's he upset about? Well, then Davante put this out there. Don't make too much of it. Phone dry. Then here comes everybody trying to get the inside scoop. Shit is annoying. That's it. Jimmy, let's get this money. I mean, I've often said if Davante Adams is going to back any move, then it's something to consider. But the first move that the Raiders made in free agency was they signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a 3-year, $67.5 million deal. However, when you look at the contract details, to me, it looks like a 2-year deal. So essentially, I would tell a lot of Raider fans out there that you are going to have Jimmy Garoppolo as your starting quarterback for the next 2 seasons. Or he's going to make $16.3 million this season, and then he makes $28 million next season. Sure, you can put him as a backup for that type of money, though $28 million for a backup, and you can't really get out of that contract. So Garoppolo is more than likely going to be your starting quarterback. But then you look at a lot of the way that a lot of contracts are structured. This Marcus Epps one, the Jim Garoppolo deal. Hell, even you look at a guy like Davante Adams' deal. A lot of these contracts are structured for the next 2 seasons. Top of my head, that makes me believe that, I wonder if Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler know that deep down they got about 2 years left to realistically try to make this thing work. Davante seems like he's okay with it. I still don't love the deal around whether or not they decided to go that route, but yes, it is being confirmed now. The Raiders had interest in Jordan Poyer. They ultimately went with Marcus Epps because they believed it was more cost-effective. Now, remember, y'all, if you want to be able to interact with me more on social media, Twitter, Instagram, at Mitchell Renz 365. You can also hit me up over on Locals as well as RaidersReport.locals.com. I'm going to wrap up today's show with Raider Nation. The Las Vegas Raiders have signed cornerback Brandon Facyson to a contract. We still do not have the details yet, but the reason why we're breaking this down for you is last season, Facyson played on the Indianapolis Colts in 2022 with Gus Bradley, and in 2021, he was a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. In 2021, he started 9 games, had 1 interception, and overall played a pretty solid role for the Raiders early on. I will say as the season went on, teams started to pick him apart a little bit. Then last season for the Indianapolis Colts, appeared in 16 games, started in 4 of those, had 28 tackles. When you look at some of his other numbers in terms of, completion percentage against, last season, 69% completion percentage. With the Raiders back in 2021, 55.6, which is actually pretty respectable. Overall quarterback rating of 99.9 last season, a 94.8. He also has experience playing in the AFC West. His first 3 seasons in the National Football League, he played on the Chargers in 2018, 2019, and in 2020. So, I want to know from you. I know we were hoping that the Raiders would make some splashier moves today, but so far it's been Jimmy Garoppolo, it's been Marcus Epps, and it's been Brandon Facyson. I will say, Garoppolo is going to start at quarterback. Then you're looking at Marcus Epps. He is more than likely going to be your starting strong safety. Facyson to me is just depth. At least for the love of God, I hope so. If the Raiders' plan is to have Facyson as be their starter, it's going to be a long season. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. That's not what you want. Good depth player, going to have some glue in terms of the overall locker room. I know that there were a lot of Raiders players, fans, that liked him a lot. But let me know what you guys think here of the signing of Brandon Facyson, A, B, C, D, or F. For me personally, from what I know right now in terms of the contract details, I don't know a lot. I don't think it's going to be expensive. I think if it's anything over $3 million per year, you're going to be really upset. So to me, if it comes in at $2.5 million, that's what I am hoping, and that's what I am projecting right now since we do not have the contract details out yet. But Brandon Facyson just signed with the Las Vegas Raiders and also with the Marcus Epps move. So if you want to break down what you think of both of those, we would definitely appreciate it. All right, guys, continue to interact with me here. Give me some of your interactions to the Raiders signing Brandon Facyson. What do you think, man? What do you think? A, B, C, D, or F?